I'd like to call this meeting of the Brick Township Council to order. Madam Clerk.
Adequate notice of this meeting was provided and published in the Asbury Park Press and the Ocean Star on December 14, 2018. Copies of the agenda were provided to the newspaper, posted on public bulletin boards and the Township website.
Thank you. This time I'd like to ask everyone to please turn off or silence your cell phones. Roll call, please.
Councilman Fosman.
Here.
Councilwoman Pontorero.
Here.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Here.
Councilman Mumolo.
Here.
Councilman Halloran.
Here.
Vice President Crate.
Here.
President Zapsik.
Here.
Thank you.
I'd like to invite the Cub Scout Pack number 39 to come up front and lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Would everyone please rise? And stay standing for a moment of silence.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, would you accept and file the reports of municipal officers, please?
Yes, I will.
And this time, may I have a motion to approve the minutes of the December 18th meeting?
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Councilwoman DeYoung, second by Councilman Halloran. May I have the roll call, please?
Councilman Fosman.
Yes.
Councilwoman Pontorero.
Yes.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Yes.
Councilman Mumolo.
Yes.
Councilman Halloran.
Yes.
Vice President Crate.
Yes.
President Zapsik.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, we have a few presentations this evening. The first is our Students of the Month. I'd like to invite the Mayor and Council Vice President Crate to come to the podium and present the Students of the Month.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for coming out in this bitterly cold weather. Each month, the Mayor and Council like to take the time to honor and congratulate the Students of the Month from both Brick Township High School and Brick Memorial. These students have achieved significant academic success for the month, and we are happy and proud to acknowledge their accomplishments. Congratulations to each of you, and we wish you continued success. I'm going to start with the students from Brick Township High School, and I apologize ahead of time if I accidentally mispronounce your name. For grade 9, we have Daly Sluice. Grade 10, Sean Crawford. Come on up. For grade 11, we have Hannah Champeri. And for grade 12, we have Meredith Bodine. If any parents from the audience want to take pictures, you can. And from Brick Memorial High School, the Students of the Month for December of 2018. 9th grade, we have Hannah O'Neill and Joseph Leiden. For grade 10, we have Ethan Pecoraro and Casey Woodruff. For grade 11, we have Liam Magner and Zane Billingsley. And for grade 12, we have Trevor Pasternak and Zachary Clark.
This evening, we're also recognizing two of our youth football cheerleading teams who performed well throughout the season and at the Nationals in Florida. So the mayor has a proclamation. On behalf of the council, we have certificates. So I'd like to invite the Brick Memorial Mustang Division 10 Red Cheer Team cheerleaders and their coaches to come forward.
Girls, come around here. All the way around.
Congratulations, ladies. Great job, great job. Very good. How do I get a bow?
He has no hair.
Brick Township is a community with a rich tradition of successful youth sports teams and programs. This past season, the Brick Memorial Mustangs Division 10 Small Red Cheer Team faced great competition, but upheld that tradition and added their own chapter by competing at the highest level in the American youth football and cheer organization. Their season consisted of capturing first place at the Jersey Shore competition, first place at the Big East competition, and was capped off with their first place win in the 2018 American Youth Cheer National Championship down in Orlando, Florida. The coaches and student demonstrators of the Brick Memorial Mustangs Division 10 Small Red Cheer Team are head coach Lauren McKenna, assistant coaches Lily Giardelli, Kayla McKenna, and Marlene Paulin, and junior demonstrators Kaylee Adarente, Tess Ryder, and Gia Scaramella. I, John G. Ducey, the mayor of the Township of Brick in the County of Ocean in the state of New Jersey, in honor of their outstanding season that culminated in our first place victory at the American Youth Cheer National Championship, do hereby proclaim tomorrow, Wednesday, January 23rd, 2019, to be Brick Mustangs Division 10 Small Red Cheer Team Day.
Taylor Alexander. Sophia Baxter. Isabella Colombo. Alisa Escalante. Delara Jablonski. Angela Murata. Grace Meyer. Kaylee Mensch. Kelly Murtha. Isabella Neal, Caroline Paw, Mariah Paulin, Cameron Platt, Peyton Rosamelia, Riley Scardilli, Sienna Shalda, Bella Schmitz, Lily West.
Email me.
Okay, can we now have the Brick Dragon Division 10 cheer team, coaches and cheerleaders come up front?
Brick Township is a community with a rich tradition of successful youth sports teams and programs. This past season, the Brick Dragons Division 10 large red cheer team faced great competition but upheld that tradition and added their own chapter by competing at the highest level in the American Youth Football and Cheer Organization. Their season consisted of capturing first place at the Big East Regional Championship and was capped off with their first place win at the 2018 Youth Cheer National Championships down in Orlando, Florida. The coaches of the Brick Dragons Division 10 Large Red Cheer Team are Jennifer Slavin Glass, Courtney Meyer, Casey Jackson, Lara Savannah, and Holly Geronimo, with the assistance of junior demonstrators Lauren Johnson, Sarah Mead, Michaela Oliveira, and Dana Savannah. I, John G. Ducey, the mayor of the Township of Brick in the County of Ocean in the state of New Jersey, in honor of their outstanding season that culminated in their first place win at the American Youth Cheer National Championship, do hereby proclaim Thursday, January 24th, 2019, to be Brick Dragons Division 10 Large Red Cheer Team Day.
Hi, everyone. On behalf of the Brick Dragons, I want to thank the the Brick Township Council and Mayor Ducey for inviting us this evening to honor our cheerleaders. These lovely girls behind me are Hayden Graff, Sabrina Glass, Perry Savannah, Caroline Cowans, Gianna DeCerise, Isabella Davila, Shayla Baca, Jaden Irvin, Ava Samfel, we good? Ava Samfel, Julia Sprague, Ava Norman, Grace Yakovchuk, Bridget Bailey, Ava Morse, Ava Baylog, Valerie Marlowe, Kaylee Baldwin, Madison Smith, Angelina Taverniti, Sada Gonzalez Espana, Kaylee Witter, and Stella Brightonbrook.
Before we go on with the mayor's presentation, on the way into the council office tonight and to the council room tonight, I was asked by a resident if she could have a few moments to make a brief presentation. So at this point, I would like to invite Ms. Nan Call to come forward.
Thank you so much, President Zapsik, and it's a pleasure to say that. At this time, I have ranted for many years about rules of order not being followed. So I make this presentation, which is the 11th edition of the newly revised Robert's Rules of Order, and I present it to you to use while you are president and for future presidents to do so until the 12th revision comes out. In addition, I printed out a copy of the Rules of Order of Meetings from Brick's E-Code. I think it will be a great help to you. You will find where I have said before, it references that you're supposed to follow Robert's Rules of Order, and congratulations. I look forward to a wonderful year.
Thank you so much. And at this time, I'd like to turn over the podium to Mayor Ducey for some other presentations.
Thank you, Council President. Irene Rafferty has been with Brick Township for 19 years. When first hired in 2000, she was a clerk and then promoted to assessing clerk, assistant assessor, senior tax assessor, and then finally wore the crown as tax assessor in 2014. Irene was one of my first appointments as mayor. She had my immediate support as the right person to lead the office of tax assessor, and I was the lucky one when she agreed to take the position. Irene is that person who is always at her desk, hard at work, but is rarely in a position of speaking publicly, so most of our taxpayers have no idea who she is or what she does. I'd like to take this opportunity to tell you about Irene. First, let me say there's no way to quantify the benefit that she has had to Brick Township that we have experienced with her as our tax assessor. She's extraordinarily diligent in all aspects of tax assessment, including added assessments and tax appeals, and makes sure we are assessing properly. She's an expert at defending our appeals, which greatly reduces the amount that we need to spend on outside counsel. She is proactive in all areas of tax assessing. Irene is counted on not only as an expert assessor, but also as a key member of our management team. She is highly regarded in her field and is viewed as an expert and is able to educate others very efficiently. Her staff's professional growth and development is a credit to her leadership. She imparts knowledge with patience and in a way that is easily understandable even to somebody like me. Irene has truly loved her job as tax assessor for the Township of Brick, and that is shown in her demeanor and her engagement with her staff and colleagues. She has always been happy to talk with the public and is incredibly patient as well as compassionate. Irene has been a trusted colleague who has earned the respect of her fellow department, division heads, and this administration. She has been available, accessible, and helpful. Her close working relationship with outside counsel, the tax collector's office, the finance office, and land use department ensures that we are functioning as efficiently as possible. She encourages open communication, camaraderie, and exceptional holiday design. Brick Township has been very blessed and fortunate to have had her as our assessor, and she will be greatly missed. And Irene is going to be retiring, so please come forward. The municipal staff of Brick Township works day in and day out to serve the wide-ranging needs of the community's approximately 80,000 residents. One such employee is Irene Rafferty, who has been a valuable member of the municipal staff serving our residents since December of 2000, and she is retiring on January 31st, 2019. During her 18-plus years while moving up the ranks in the tax assessor's office, Irene had faced many challenges such as a township-wide reevaluation and unprecedented issues resulting from Superstorm Sandy, which I'm sure she's happy is behind us as far as her position. And she continued to handle with exceptional expertise and professionalism. In addition to her wealth of knowledge in tax assessing, Irene annually excelled at decorating her office, more specifically decorating the public door to the assessor's office, with amazing displays that truly delighted all who had the opportunity to see them during the holiday season. After her tenure of exemplary service, Irene will be joining her husband, Dennis, in retirement, spend more time with their children, Allison and Tom, Kevin and Erica, and will be spoiling her grandchildren, Robert, Amelia, and Everly, in between becoming a snowbird in Sarasota, Florida, and sailing around the Virgin Islands this spring. I, John G. Ducey, the Mayor of the Township of Brick in the County of Ocean in the State of New Jersey, in recognition of your more than 18 years of dedicated and exceptional service to the Township of Brick, and in honor of your retirement, do hereby proclaim this Friday, January 25th, 2019, to be Irene Rafferty Day, and I do have a key to the city as well. Congratulations. 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 Congratulations.
area. I thought we couldn't outdo the cheerleaders. My heart is pounding. Thank you, Mayor. Obviously, I'm a fairly newcomer, only being here 16 years. There are people in the room that far exceed that. But I have truly given, my all to trying to be a good public servant here in Brick Township. You don't do that with the mentors who welcome you and teach you the skills and encourage you to expand your knowledge and pursue your future goals. So I thank the people who came before me, and I'd also like to thank the people who have served with me for all of these years, and in particular my current staff. They are truly incredible. They all strive very hard to serve the public and to come to understand both the laws and the difficulties that our citizens are suffering through from time to time. So I would like to thank them for making my job that much easier. And I've been a lifelong resident here in Brick Township, and I have to tell you that I could not even imagine being here, receiving this gift from the mayor today. I wasn't going to do it tonight, but I would just like to say thank you. It is truly an honor. Thank you. And thank you, Council, for your support, and Joanne, and of course, Kevin. Thank you so much, everyone, for all of your support throughout my 18 years. We're going to take a photo with my family.
We do have another presentation tonight. Sean Knievy. In 1980, when I was still a student, a fourth grade student, fourth grade, Sean Knievy first started working for the Township of Brick.
I wasn't even born yet.
He was hired January 1st, 1980, as a laborer at DPW at an annual salary of $10,996. Sean holds the crown as the Township's most senior full-time employee with 39 years on the job. In the 39 years since Sean first joined the workforce, he has seen and experienced significant change not only in the landscape of our town, but in laws and regulations, technologies, and even mayors. He can tell anyone who cares to know what families lived where, what stores have come and gone, what used to be back in the day, and how areas become built up to what they are now. Brick Township is absolutely in his blood, and his love for our town is based on a family legacy of service. As zoning officer, Sean has a large volume of work to be completed each day, and he makes his way through at his own pace. He is always helpful and willing to assist in any way with helping residents, his colleagues, and potential business owners understand the township's zoning codes. Sean is very diligent and thorough in all responses and inquiries. He is a valued resource who knows the history of our town and provides relevant background on every zoning land use discussion. He is also instrumental in directing the township's code enforcement officers. Sean is a walking encyclopedia on the township's zoning and code. He educates others regularly and often, and is always happy to impart knowledge on a variety of topics that he is an expert in. There is simply no other employee with as much background information or firsthand knowledge on Brick Township's detailed and proud history. Sean is a pleasure to have around. He is always ready with an anecdote or story that makes people smile. He loves his job and his colleagues, and it shows. Sean is supportive to his colleagues and with administration. Many times he has personally checked into an issue with a permit delay or response to a resident to see that it's resolved. He is supportive of our goals to be helpful to residents and responsive to anybody with questions. Sean is a treasure, and I greatly enjoyed working with him. His 39-year history has had its ups and downs, and I'm pleased that he has enjoyed such a positive experience as he ends his tenure with Brick Township. He leaves a remarkable legacy of exceptional service. So Sean Knieve, please come forward. The municipal staff of Brick Township works day in and day out to serve the wide-ranging needs of the community's approximately 80,000 residents. One such employee is Sean Knieve, who has been a valuable member of its municipal staff, serving our residents and entertaining our staff with his quick wit since June 18, 1979. Sean or John, 1979. Sean or John, as some of you may know him, graduated from Rider University with a degree in political science, is extremely knowledgeable about Brick Township, recalling all of the changes that have occurred in Brick Township, therefore is often referred to as Obi Knieve, Obi-Wan Knieve, especially during the Star Wars fame. In addition to his wealth of knowledge of Brick Township and all of its zoning ordinances, he's a devout Catholic, proudly wearing the cross of St. Francis. Don't have one out today?
One of the cheerleaders took it.
All right. Is extremely proud of his Irish heritage, hence changing his name from John to Sean, even though he was part Italian and Croatian. Sean, after nearly 40 years of exemplary service, will be hanging up his zoning coat and will be retiring on January 31st, 2019 to spend more time going out to eat or the movies with his wife Noreen, their daughter, and 4 grandchildren. And while he's not at home rooting for the Jacksonville Jaguars, he'll continue his quest to find the answer if a hot dog is really a sandwich. I, John G. Ducey, the mayor of the Township of Brick in the County of Ocean in the state of New Jersey, in recognition of his almost 40 years of dedicated and exceptional service to the Township of Brick and in honor of his retirement, do hereby proclaim Thursday, January 31st, 2019, to be Sean Knieve Day. And I have a key to the city as well.
Sure. Thank you, Mayor, for the key. I won't have to pick the lock anymore. A few of your predecessors would have taken this key, locked the door, and thrown it away when they saw me coming. Thank you for your support. You forgot to leave out that I'm also a felon, not a felon, a fellow. Came close. A fellow St. Joseph Monsignor Donovan Catholic High School Griffin alumnus, like yourself. However, I'm in the Sports Hall of Fame. I'm on my 8th mayor. Last one standing wins. Leaving the town in good hands. I'd like to thank everybody. I can't name everybody. Can't remember everybody. It's been a long time. I've been here since there was 3 blocks and 4 lots. I do remember a lot of things. I'd like to thank everybody I worked with. You're like a family. I'll miss you all. I'll see some of you around. Not at Summerfest because I have a perfect record of never attending Summerfest. I'll see you around Brick, and I'll see Joanne and Chris Romano and Tom's River somewhere. Maybe at George Gilmore's yard sale. Thanks again, everyone. Anybody who claims to be a member of my family, please come up for pictures later. Here, you want to hold this? I brought my bodyguard.
Joanne's slacking. Yeah. Not our first rodeo. And the chief was hiding. He's right there. Put your head right there. Yep. What it is? See right there. You're trying to put look. The red button across the top, the thing you rip off is the door. That's the magnet. Just rip it off. Press the button. Where's Chris? pencil it off. One more. Yay.
It is not a sandwich. Right? Yeah. Can't be.
You got that little thing on Gilmore in there.
Bye, Sean. We'll see you tomorrow. No? Yeah. You're here tomorrow, right? All right, fantastic. We'll see you then.
When she wrote her
Come down and visit and get more knowledge.
Oh, God, no, she was out.
Oh, I love it.
Okay. We're going to move on with the agenda. Resolution 4-1, Madam Clerk.
Yes, Resolution 4-1, authorize appointment of temporary purchasing agent.
Thank you. Mayor, would you like to speak?
Yes, thank you. Jane Kopeka has worked for the township since 2006 and joined the purchasing department in 2013. Jane was a quick study and soon became an essential member of the purchasing department. Jane has been the purchasing agent assistant for 3 years and has been the right-hand leader working closely with our recently retired purchasing agent, Mary Ann Jasinski. Upon her retirement, Mary Ann provided overwhelming support and recommendation that Jane be named Brick Township's purchasing agent. Jane completed and received certification in the 3 required principles of public purchasing classes and has the required certification in the Municipal Finance Administration for Purchasing Agents program through Rutgers. Tonight's resolution appoints Jane as temporary purchasing agent with the abilities to exercise the duties of purchasing agent in accordance with state statute for the period of 1 year. In that time, she will complete the 4th and final requirement, which is the qualified purchasing agent exam. The required coursework leading up to that exam has been completed successfully. Jane is extremely meticulous, methodical, accurate, professional, and works very hard each and every day. She has taken on more responsibility in the past several years and has been up to the challenge and does an exceptional job. Jane has taken the lead training department heads Jane has taken the lead, training department heads, in the use of the Edmunds system, which tracks our purchase orders. She is a smart teacher, patient and confident, and an overall true asset to the township. Jane has handled all of the responsibilities of the Division of Purchasing and Contracting to conduct all purchasing, the acquisition of all goods and/or services in accordance with the local public contracts law. Last year, purchasing processed approximately 5,800 purchase orders, more than 48 bids for goods and services, 25 professional service bids, 11 capital project bids, 10 national cooperative contracts, 2 competitive contracting bids, 15 miscellaneous resolutions, 55 formal requests for proposals, and 5 auctions for police motorcycles, solar renewable energy, credits, police vehicles, DPW vehicles, and parks equipment. Purchasing also oversees the central receiving mailroom. Jane's leadership will provide a seamless transition, and I welcome her into this new role with unwavering support and much thanks for her hard work and many years to come.
Thank you. Open to council for comment. Seeing none, may I have a motion and a second, please?
Motion.
Second.
Okay, motion by Councilman Mumolo, seconded by Council Vice President Crate. Roll call, please.
Councilman Fosman.
Yes.
Councilwoman Pontorero.
Yes.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Yes.
Councilman Mumolo.
Yes.
Councilman Halloran.
Yes.
Vice President Crate.
Yes.
President Zapsik.
Yes.
Thank you.
Resolution 4-2, Madam Clerk.
Authorize appointment of tax assessor.
Thank you. Mayor, would you like to speak?
Thank you. Mike Kingsbury has been with Brick Township since 1996 when he came on board as assessing clerk. He has spent more than 20 years in service to our township, and in that time has become an astute professional and essential member of the Office of Tax Assessor. Mike has been the senior assistant assessor since 2016 and has been the right-hand leader working closely with our assessor, Irene Raftery. Upon her retirement, Irene provided overwhelming support and recommendation that Michael be named Brick Township's tax assessor. Michael completed the work to earn certification as a tax assessor in 2012 and holds all relevant certifications for this new role. He knows every neighborhood in Brick Township, having spent significant time doing inspections, and he played a key role in the assessing changes that occurred as a result of Superstorm Sandy. Michael also has developed exceptional skills in managing added assessments and appeals. Michael's in-depth field training and experience gives him a unique understanding of quality and cost of construction and an unsurpassed understanding of real estate value, something that can only come from exposure and experience. He has trained every field inspector who came into the tax assessor's office for the past 20 years. In addition to his excellent valuation skills, he tracks the statistical data and addresses tax map changes. He supervises the field inspectors and assigns and manages the inspection workload. He has served as an expert witness at New Jersey tax court trials, and his testimony has been central to the success of our appeals. His leadership will provide a seamless transition, and I welcome him into this new role with unwavering support and much thanks for his years of hard work and many more years to come. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Open to council.
Can I say something real quick?
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Yes, I just want to congratulate Jane and Mike. You guys have made, I believe, our jobs easier and the mayor's and the administration's jobs a lot easier by being able to promote within and make a seamless transition in both the departments. So thank you and congratulations to both of you.
Anyone else from council? Seeing none, may I have a motion and a second, please?
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Halloran, second by Councilwoman DeYoung. Roll call, please.
Councilman Fosman.
Yes.
Councilwoman Pontorero.
Yes.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Yes.
Councilman Mumolo.
Yes.
Councilman Halloran.
Yes.
Vice President Crate.
Yes.
President Zapsik.
Yes.
Thank you.
We'll now move on to the consent agenda. Madam Clerk.
All matters listed under item consent agenda will be enacted by one motion in the form listed below. If discussion is desired on any item, this item will be removed from the consent agenda and will be considered separately.
Thank you. Resolution 5-1. Madam Clerk.
Authorize change of custodians for petty cash, parks, and public works.
Thank you. Ms. Bergen, would you like to explain this, please?
Sure. 5-1, this resolution authorizes the change of custodians for petty cash funds to Robert Burns for the Parks Department and Ken Mathis for Public Works.
Thank you. Resolution 5-2. Madam Clerk.
Authorize grant application, Governor's Council on Alcoholism and Drug Abuse.
Thank you. This resolution authorizes the submission of a grant application to the Governor's Council on Alcoholism and Drug Abuse for the Brick Municipal Alliance Program, or BMAC. We actually go by Brick Municipal Anti-Drug Coalition now. We submit the application annually, and it covers the cost of the BMAC programs. We are requesting $39,523, which is the full amount that we are allocated for Brick Township. There is a 25% cash match that we raise through the golf tournament and Summerfest fundraisers, and then the in-kind, 75% in-kind, which is offset by our DARE officers, community policing for Neighborhood Watch, and the Lead and Seed program. Resolution 5-3.
Authorize receipt of bids, public safety uniforms.
Thank you. This resolution authorizes the receipt of bids for public safety uniforms. The current contract is set to expire, it was a 2-year contract, I believe, set to expire on March 7th. Resolution 5-4.
Authorize acceptance of name change Southwestern Energy to UGI Energy Services.
Thank you. Council Vice President Crate.
This resolution authorizes the acceptance of a name change for a company included in the Stafford Township Cooperative Pricing System. On November 8, 2018, the Council awarded a contract for the supply and delivery of natural gas through Stafford Township Cooperative pricing system to South Jersey Energy Company, which recently has been bought by UGI Energy Services. The resolution accepts the name change and awards the contract for the supply and delivery of natural gas to UGI Energy Services.
Thank you. Resolution 5-5.
Authorize purchasing agent to enter into contracts for purchases and services with certain vendors under county contracts.
Thank you. Ms. Bergen, would you like to tell us about this, please?
Sure, certainly. This resolution authorizes the purchasing agent to enter into agreements on behalf of the township for the performance of work or furnishing of materials, equipment, or supplies, or the retaining of services on an as-needed basis in accordance with state statute.
Thank you. Resolution 5-6.
Authorize official newspapers for publication.
Thank you. This resolution designates the Asbury Park Press and the Ocean Star as the newspapers to be utilized for the public notices pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Act. Resolution 5-7.
Authorize execution of shared services agreement with Ocean County Prosecutor's Office Fatal Accident Support Team 2019.
Thank you. Mayor, would you like to talk about this?
Thanks. Yes. This resolution authorizes the execution of a shared service agreement with the Ocean County Prosecutor's Office to designate Brick Township police officers to be assigned to the Fatal Accident Support Team for the purposes of assisting in investigation, prosecution of fatal accidents, and in traffic enforcement and education. During times where additional manpower is needed for investigations and or training, members of the FAST, F-A-S-T, will be called upon to assist. Officers will be paid from money in the prosecutor's program fund, which has been designated by the Ocean County Prosecutor and the Board of Chosen Freeholders. Thanks.
Thank you. Resolution 5-8.
Authorize execution of shared services agreement with County of Ocean Child Restraint Grant Program 2019.
Thank you. Councilwoman DeYoung, would you like to speak about this?
Yes, thank you. This resolution authorizes the execution of a shared services agreement with the Ocean County Sheriff's Office for the fiscal year 2019 Child Restraint Program Grant. The Child Restraint Grant Program is run by the Ocean County Sheriff's Office for the purpose of inspecting and installing child restraints in vehicles. In this grant, Brick Police can designate officers to become certified child passenger safety technicians to conduct child restraint inspections. The county offers the certification training and will offset a portion of the salary of those officers who complete the training.
Thank you. Resolution 5-9, we have bond releases and reductions. Madam Clerk?
Yes, 5-9A is a performance bond reduction for Shore Acres Clubhouse on Shore Drive in the amount of $23,300.23. 5-9B is performance bond release for Santander Bank, Burn Tavern Road, in the amount of $126,152.20. 5-9C is an inspection fund release for Cofield Construction on Route 70 in the amount of $300.64. 5-9D is an inspection fund release for Allied Construction Group, 3rd Street, in the amount of $203.74. 5-9E is an inspection fund release for Performance Systems Integration on Route 88 in the amount of $603.28. 5-9F is an inspection fund release for Robert Thrunk on Herbertsville Road in the amount of $363.41. 5-9G is a road construction bond release for Quad Construction on Breton Road and Eastern Lane in the amount of $2,000.
Thank you. Resolution 5-10, tax collector. Mrs. Bergen.
10A, 100% DAV refund and cancel taxes at Block 35, Lot 23 in the amount of $2,710.85. 10B is 100% DAV refund and cancel taxes Block 324.04, Lot 5, in the amount of $3,117.72. 10C is 100% DAV refund and cancel taxes for Block 549, Lot 3, in the amount of $1,267.26. 10D is a refund and cancel taxes Cedar Bridge Tiger Mart, Block 468, Lot 10, in the amount of $8,992.61. 10E is tax overpayments for the year 2018. There is one in the amount of $1,864.94. 10F, there's a state tax appeal that's been granted for Block 210.19, Lot 19, 64 East Laguna Drive in the amount of $195.75. And 10G is a state tax appeal granted for Block 1170, Lot 25, which is 515 Jack Martin Boulevard in the amount of $65,813, which is a 2-year appeal.
Thank you very much. That is the end of our consent agenda. I'd like to open to council. Seeing none, may I have a motion and a second
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Councilwoman DeYoung, second by Councilman Fosman. Open to public. Ms. Call.
Nan Call, 18 Greenbrier Boulevard. Let me see, 5.6. The newspapers for publication. Many years ago, when I first came to this town, it had to be published in one free newspaper that got out to every home. At the time, it was Ed Muller who had the Brick Town Sampler, I believe that was the designated paper. But everything seems to change and less information gets out to us. So I mentioned that I wonder why we don't have something more than a paper I have to pay money for and will not pay money for. The 5.7 about the fatal accident support team, I would like to hear during the comments from council, etc., some reports about what the investigation on fatal accidents instead of what new business they were interested in that opened up. We don't get anything on that. The 5.8, I have belonged to many groups that were volunteer situations, for instance, the Older Americans Traffic Safety that the late Roden Light Body used to moderate every month. And he used to give us statistics to bring back to our relative areas about accidents, like how many happened on the Parkway, basically how many happened in Ocean County, and explain to us, at least for my edification, that one reason Ocean County wound up with an awfully large number was we had the largest amount of Garden State Parkway roadway. I think we could use some more of that information. 5.8. Another thing that, what I was going to say is 5.8, the Child Restraint Grant Program. The group that met for Roden's meetings included a young police officer who was with the schools. And I'm not sure if it was him, but we got a lot of information about what they were doing in schools, driver's training, changes in the law. But it also talked about the child restraint seats and police officers being certified not just to see things were done right, but to help people do it right, to put them into the car for people, because they're not always so easy. Nothing these days is all that easy. 5.9, I've asked for you to please put addresses wherever possible. Cofield Construction, Route 70, why couldn't we have a definite address? Allied Construction, I happen to know Performance Systems just from passing it. Robert Thrunk, I assume it's a residence, but it's still public information. And the Quad Construction, same situation with the tax collector. You give me block and lot. Do you know what it's like to try to research that? And nobody here should have to research it that's in the public. We should have the information provided. So I'd like to see addresses printed after it. I see that you did for F and G. So basically, I wanted to bring that out, and I don't expect you to give me responses. I expect action.
Thank you. Anyone else for comment on the resolutions? Seeing none, close public. Roll call, please.
Councilman Fosman.
Yes.
Councilwoman Pontorero.
Yes.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Yes.
Councilman Mumolo.
Yes.
Councilman Halloran.
Yes.
Vice President Crate.
Yes.
President Zapsik.
Yes.
Thank you.
Resolution 511.
Be it resolved by the Township Council of the Township of Brick that the following bills be paid and that the mayor and clerk be and are hereby authorized to draw orders on the treasurer for the amounts of the same. Computer bill resolution in the amount of $1,937,727.21.
Thank you. Open to council. Seeing none, may I have a motion and a second?
Second.
Motion by Councilman Mumolo, seconded by Council Vice President Crate. Open to public on the computer bill resolution. Seeing none, close public. Roll call, please.
Councilman Fosman.
Yes, I have a few questions. On page 14 and 15, under CME Engineering, I noticed that we have all the engineering, there's a lot of escrow accounts there, and on page 63, the township has escrow accounts. What do we have two separate? I just happened to notice that this time.
Yeah, so we charge the escrow account for the project, and if it's an outside inspector from CME, it would be under the CME bill resolution for them to be paid for that work. If it's a township employee that's doing the inspection, it shows on the township side.
Okay. And on page 23, it's the Fallon and Company, his bill, and what services did he perform? Do you know? Was that for the Sandy, for the $5 million?
No, this, excuse me, my microphone wasn't on. No, this was not for that. He provides, that company provides different services, and I'd have to check the invoices to tell you what that is, but
Okay.
I can tell you it's not tied to that.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. We are at
And yes.
Oh, sorry.
And yes.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, okay.
Councilwoman Pontarero.
Yes.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Abstain, CME Associates, yes to the rest.
Councilman Mumolo.
Yes.
Councilman Halloran.
Yes.
Vice President Crate.
Yes.
President Zapsik.
Yes.
Thank you.
512.
Be it resolved by the Township Council of the Township of Brick that the following bills be paid and that the mayor and clerk be and are hereby authorized to put orders on the treasurer for the amounts of the same. Manual bill resolution in the amount of $50,363.71.
Thank you. Open to council. Seeing no comment, may I have a motion and a second?
Motion?
Motion by Councilman Fosman.
Second.
Second by Councilwoman Crate. Open to public on the manual bill resolution. Seeing none, close public. Roll call, please.
Councilman Fosman.
Yes.
Councilwoman Pontarero.
Yes.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Abstain, CME Associates, yes to the rest.
Councilman Mumolo.
Yes. I was supposed to abstain Meridian Occupational Health under the computer bill.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Councilman Halloran.
Yes.
Vice President Crate.
Yes.
President Zapsik.
Yes.
Thank you.
We are now at public comment. Madam Clerk.
Please note that each person addressing the council during any section of the meeting during which public comment is permitted shall limit his or her remarks to 5 minutes pursuant to Brick Township Administrative Code, Section 2-33B.
Thank you. Who would like to be first? Mr. Sluka?
Good evening. I'll read my letter. John Sluka, 950 Sylvia Court. Council President Andrea Zapsik and all the councilmen and councilwomen. You want to wait until everybody settles down?
No.
Oh. Everybody's moving all over the
No,
place.
you're fine.
Okay. And the residents and workers of Brick Township and all of Ocean County. What is needed in Evergreen Woods towards the Garden State Parkway area is a wall for pollution, a wall for toxins flowing to the kids. So my letter basically says that. So what is needed on the Garden State Parkway adjacent to the areas Evergreen Woods, Primrose Gardens, Greenbrier, Birchwood Park, Brick High, Brick American Field, Town Hall, Sutton Village, Lanes Mill School, and other places in Brick and Ocean County is increased forestation as well as that 14-foot pollution, noise, and safety wall to curtail some of the damage the illegal actions of the New Jersey Turnpike has caused. I have recently heard of many arguments why a wall is needed for things like safety and health of its citizens, and these arguments are brought about because of the influence of drugs, disease, and other things that may harm our borders. Well, that's what might be needed in the United States, but what needed is closer to home, which is also killing our children, our diseases from the toxins. So we need to discuss it a little more and then fight with the New Jersey Turnpike Authority to get that. So a wall is needed, but along with that wall is a complete replantation of all the trees and brush and everything else that they took out. And actually, the height they had before was fine. Not an 8-foot tree, not a 6-foot tree, but a 25-foot tree. Okay. Thousands of studies within New Jersey and the rest of the world have been conducted, and in general, they may all conclude that all pollution, air pollution from traffic harms our residents. Many studies from groups like Environmental Protection Agency and the Massachusetts Institute of Technology published the results of magazines such as Nursing Times and many others that I brought before the council. Many of these studies are universal in the conclusion that air pollution from exhaust fumes kills more than twice as many people as road accidents do. Worldwide, 13,000 a year. We may be able to curtail some of the ills that are befalling our children and seniors, and in fact, every citizen here in the Shore community, by compelling the New Jersey Turnpike Authority to build a pollution safety and noise wall. But this will only happen with courage from our representatives. As a community and family, we need to act as one. One that is not beholden to the lobbyists, power brokers, political parties, bureaucracies associated with agencies like the Turnpike Authority. With the destruction of the environment, the pockets of lobbyists, power brokers, and politicians have been heightened. But shouldn't all elected mayor, school boards, council, and assembly stand with the people? Studies upon studies have been brought before the New Jersey Turnpike Authority, county politicians, and many local leaders, but nothing seems to ever get done. With that in mind, let me ask each and every one of our representatives a question or two or so. If your father or mother or brother or sister were developing COPD, would you just sit idly by and let this happen? The mayor said in his annual message last meeting that we are a family, and if that just isn't political rhetoric, are we all not each other's brothers, sisters, mothers, fathers, and children? If you read or heard about thousands of studies that concluded air toxins are causing your children asthma or other lung ailments, would you not act for your child or brother or sister? Let me ask another question. If you knew there's a high probability that the air your sister or mother or daughter breathes in each day, and that will cause her to have an autistic child, would you just sit idly by because you realize the mayor's comments last time were just political fodder? Or do you really believe we are truly a family? If you found out because you took no action, your mother will suffer lung and heart ailments and die prematurely, would you be happy with the toxins penetrating her lungs, causing her to die prematurely? Or do you believe the mayor that my mother, your neighbor's mother, and everyone's mother are one, since we are all family? Are we truly family, or is just political grandiosity? I beg an extra 30 seconds for that interruption. The time to act is now, and not just sit idly back and let one person who has a flowery speech, a nice title, a high level of education do the thinking for us. We are truly family. Each of us must stand tall, speak out, create an avenue for lawsuits that will help every member of our family. A representative of the people should not be a mouthpiece of big business and government cartels, but truly one that will stand with his brother, sister, mother, father, and child, and do what is necessary and right. A wall and increased forestation may not be perfect, or it may not be a perfect solution, but at least it's the minimum that is needed to enhance the health and well-being of our family, and in the long run saves the lives of our mothers, fathers, and children. Thanks for your time, and sorry for the extra 30 seconds.
Thank you. Mr. Brill?
Stephen Brill, Evergreen Woods. I have received a copy of a letter from the United States Department of Transportation, Federal Highway Administration, dated September 24th, 2009, to the New Jersey Department of Transportation granting a categorical exclusion for the Interchange 91 project. The exclusion was based on documentation supplied by the New Jersey Department of Transportation. Within that documentation, no mention was made of the impact on Evergreen Woods, only on nearby Bernie Cook Park. It did mention a sound study conducted in June 2005 for 3 consecutive hours, 6 to 9 a.m. and 3:30 to 6:30 p.m., which showed noise levels from 57 dBA to 66 dBA. I will let that sink in. The noise level was studied for a total of 6 hours. Sound barriers were considered for Cherrywood condominiums, Laurelton Woods condominiums, and along Burrsville Road. Depending on the funding source, either New Jersey Department of Transportation or New Jersey Turnpike Authority, sound barrier policies was used to determine whether an area qualified for a sound barrier. Funding was actually from the Transportation Trust Fund. The Burrsville sound barrier did not qualify under NJTA policy, but did qualify under NJDOT policy. Other areas impacted by the project did not qualify due to intervening driveways. The New Jersey Department of Transportation, either through incompetence, conspiracy, or fraud, submitted a document to the U.S. Department of Transportation, Federal Highway Administration, that did not include an interrelated New Jersey Turnpike Authority shoulder widening project. That failure to provide complete documentation to comply with the National Environmental Policy Act must warrant an investigation by the United States Attorney for New Jersey. The National Environmental Policy Act requires the combined impact of both projects. The Act also states that this must occur whether or not federal funds are used, as long as federal permits are needed. I strongly suggest that Brick Township write a letter to the United States Attorney for New Jersey demanding an investigation. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Ms. Call.
Thank you. Nankal, 18 Greenbrier Boulevard. And I have here a collection of books, and it's only a small part of the collection that I collected on Robert's Rules of Order. The book I gave you, which is the Robert's Rules of Order newly revised, this happens to be the 11th edition. I've been using the 10th edition, and I bought the last 2 copies of the 11th out at Barnes & Noble. The second one I'm going to present to the school board, which is where the awards for Student of the Month, etc., teams, sports, the well-rounded educated student belongs done in the school, not during an adult time of people that are really interested in informing themselves, educating themselves about the workings of our government. So I'm going to be harping on that. In addition, to tell you about my credentials, I have notes that were given to me and some that I wrote during 2 times that I took a seminar or a workshop with John Stackpole, and I will print them even on my Facebook. And I've checked with John about this. It was done the early part, and it was part of a training class that was offered to those of us who were interested for the National Association of Active and Retired Federal Employees. Never worked a day in my life, but until last year, I was a very active member. The hierarchy is you have the national, you have 10 regions which are comprised of several states in each region. You have federations, which is the individual state and then you have chapters. The day I signed up to join that, I became the first vice president of my chapter. Then eventually I started attending the federation meetings. And after working with the John Stackpole first class and attending the national conventions where they had another paid parliamentarian, and before anything else got done at the convention, the people had to vote on accepting the rules of order for the convention. After the rules were accepted, there were several times that people noticed I got up and objected to people that were violating the rules that had been accepted for the convention, and as a result, I became the parliamentarian for the New Jersey Federation of Chapters. And I've always researched my subject matter. I haven't looked at it in a long time, but one of the better books has, similar to the notes of John, I don't know if there's a current publication, 21st Century, Robert's Rules of Order. This modern edition, I didn't really find the others. Doris Zimmerman, and there was an Alice something that John had mentioned. So I'd like to see that we start doing things the way they were done in the beginning, which is to have a caucus meeting one week. This has become more important to have, the caucus, because at the caucus meeting, you thrashed out things about the agenda that you were going to use the following week on the public. You also had a public comment, and people got to offer suggestions, ask advice, demand changes to the construction where they cut off, going from one side of 17th Avenue to the other side on Burnt Tavern, which was the biggest mistake, but that was Mayor Scarpelli pandering to the people and giving a long-time fix to a short-time problem when they were making the change on exiting off 70. That happened about a multitude of things. The Home Depot that was still fighting the food town situation and haven't done anything. So I'd like to see you reinstitute the caucus meeting to thrash out anything that needs to be on the agenda. It doesn't happen too often these days, but we need more information than is being given. And at this point in time, because we have done without it, we need to thrash out how our meetings should go. If you're going to have a student of the month, I want to know what special achievement did that student make. In lieu of that, too, if you don't, even aside, if you're going to insist on keeping it, I want to hear a 5 or 10 minute presentation on a subject matter pertinent to us. For example, the rules of meeting that we have in our E-code, and thrash out what I know that Mr. Fosman walked down here, or Councilman Fosman, but he's Mr. Fosman when he's down here, so that he can have his say. The Robert's Rules of Order says the president grants the floor to anyone who wants to speak, and when it's a council person, during the time of doing council business, once that person gets the floor, no one has the right to cut them off. And I witnessed Mr. Fosman, or Councilman Fosman, being cut off from discussing something he wanted to discuss in the past. So we need a caucus meeting where we, the people of the town that are interested in it, can really get some information and thrash out what we don't like. We need to get your attention. I've said, nobody here represents me because I don't feel it. If I don't perceive you're representing me, the one exception is I do believe that President Zapsik will represent me and all the rest of the township as she's supposed to, as you all are supposed to. Whether you like me or not, as somebody once told my husband, whether he liked, the doctor said, whether I like her or not and what she says, she's right. You need to listen to her. So you need to listen to us, the people. You need to start demanding that the governor come here and let that be during a caucus meeting so that we can also discuss with him about the money in the schools and what's happening. And I believe that he may be right in not signing for the money, but it needs to be discussed with we the people. In closing, I'm just going to say for tonight, because this is going to come up meeting after meeting after meeting. I have had it up to here with the flagrant disregard for the people of Brick. I've used technology since the 1980s. I mean, big-time technology. Nowadays, I don't have time to keep up with the changes. But going back years, I have 2 Facebook accounts. Under those accounts, I have a few pages that I manage. I haven't had time to iron out exactly how to use them, but today I did post on one of the pages that I'm going to make big use of, We, the People of Brick. I think if you search for it, you'll find it. And anybody who wants to post on it, that's fine. But I can stop you, cut you off. It's my page. I manage it. And I wrote about how that the rules, the Open Meetings Act is all misused and abused, and that the Open Meetings Act, Loretta Weinberg, who is a state senator, had in 2013 an op-ed letter, I've mentioned this before, in which she talks about how lucky we are. Well, today I sent her an email that I don't think we're lucky to have the Open Meetings Act or the Open Records Act because it is constantly abused, and that from now on, I'm going to send her emails about each and every one of these meetings in Brick so she can see nothing is being done the way the rule book says they should be done. So I will, and I suggest, you heed my request and have caucus meetings at which you plan the agenda and thrash out what needs to be, but most of all, start hearing what it is the people of Brick want.
Thank you. Anyone else? Mr. Fosman.
Thank you. Jim Fosman, 456 Rhode Island Avenue. I just wanted to bring to this council what we voted on in 2014. And just so everybody here remembers, I'm going to read it. This is an article from the Brick Patch. It was written by Daniel Lee on February 5th, 2014. It says, Brick Police launch anonymous online tip service. Have a tip for the Brick Police? You can now submit tips anonymously over the internet. Township officers have announced Tip 411, now live on the township website, is an internet-based tool that enables citizens to submit tips to the police department anonymously over the internet or through a smartphone app that is available for free. According to the local officials, Tip 411 technology removes identifying information before the police department sees it, so there is no way to identify the sender. Tip 411 is one more resource for the department's commitment to use technology to increase effectiveness. It will become an important component in our community policing efforts, which include our use of Facebook and Twitter, said Chief Niall Berquist in a statement. Our goal with these technologies is to make Brick Township safer by strengthening our relationship with our citizens through improved communication, awareness, and participation. Tip 411 was created exclusively for public safety agencies by Citizen Observer, a St. Paul, Minnesota-based company, in 2000. The company has since expanded its reach to law enforcement agencies in 40 states. Officials hope the system's anonymity will spur more tips to the police department. The eyes of the citizens are an invaluable resource for our police department, said Mayor John Ducey. Unfortunately, many citizens reluctant to report matters for fear of retribution and other concerns. This new tool allows them to report the safety concerns completely anonymous. Citizens can also download the PD app for free at the App Store and iPhones. This article about anonymous, people getting in, just like the neighborhood watch, the people feel safe calling in, not knowing that the police officer's not going to tell them their name to their neighbor and say, oh, so-and-so called you in. They don't do that. And another thing here, I know the council didn't want to go and do an investigation on that anonymous letter. But here, on January 15th of 2019, a land use committee meeting. Councilman Mumala was there, Andrea Zapsek, council president, and Art Helen were there. And I'm not going to go through all the stuff here, but on this piece of new business, it says it's a new business for a street vacation. It says here in these minutes that the committee reviewed an anonymous request opposing a vacation on a property. So the committee reviews that anonymous request, but when something anonymous came up 2 weeks ago, you didn't give a shit about it. That's double standards. That's what's wrong with you guys. You don't follow what you say you're going to do. Here we have other townships. Cedar Grove Township Committee launches special investigation into anonymous letters. People care. People out there. Somebody writes it because they don't want nobody to find out who they are, so nobody can retaliate against them. Ask this council to go after that anonymous letter. Let's do an investigation. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Seeing none, I'm going to close public comment. Mrs. Bergen.
I think I'll go for it. Thanks. Just shy of 5 years ago, I experienced the great professional honor of being selected as business administrator for the Township of Brick. At the time, I promised to earn my keep through good old-fashioned hard work and commitment to serving the mayor and council, my colleagues, and the residents of this wonderful town. My approach to this job is unique, and I am proud to be different in that way. I've driven in sanitation trucks, police cars, ambulances, and parks equipment. I've sat in with police dispatch. I've gone out in the field with zoning officials, code enforcement, and building inspectors. I sell 50/50s at Summerfest to help BMAC. I help park cars when necessary at township events. I plow. Yeah, I plow. There is literally nothing I wouldn't do to support the staff, learn from them about what they do, and show my respect for their hard work. I attend planning board and board of adjustment meetings not because it's required, but because I have a genuine interest in projects and applications that are considering coming to this town. But recently, I have been made to suffer by those who lack the common decency to recognize inappropriate behavior, mean-spiritedness, and seek to do harm for personal agendas. The anonymous letter discussed at the last council meeting illustrates that. The job as business administrator is not easy. The person in this position must be the one to implement changes in policies and practices that are outdated, unnecessary, and unable to sustain financially. The person in this position must be firm but also fair, and I know in my heart I have led with compassion. I push back on anything that isn't right. I hold our workforce accountable, just as I hold our outside contractors accountable, and I always, always hold myself accountable. So while making friends is a blessing, it's not necessarily what I expect to leave as my legacy, and it has never been my goal. My goal has been to create a supportive, productive workplace, and that includes tackling problems and issues that need to be addressed, because ultimately, at the end of the day, we're all better off when things are resolved and not left to fester. Whoever orchestrated the letter did so for the sole purpose of hurting me. And to those people I say, mission accomplished. My sympathies and apologies to the employees of this town who were pulled into that letter by default. They deserve better than being caught in the middle of political nonsense. This letter and the people behind it is not what Brick Township is about. In a way, I have come to appreciate the gifts that this letter gave me, which is an overwhelming show of love and support from the people I work with and serve. I thank every real and true person who lifted me up and continued to show me the tremendous impact of being someone with integrity, grace, and compassion and kindness. When wounds are healed with love, the scars are beautiful. I am proud of what we have accomplished in the past 5 years. I am proud to serve this town, and I stand tall knowing my love for Brick Township is unwavering, as is my commitment to service. Thank you for listening to me.
Mayor Ducey.
Thank you. First, that was a great speech right there. Great sentiment, great thoughts. And I thank you for being a great BA and even more beautiful person. I want to start off with a letter. It's good news for the township, because I'm going to have something to say about this at the end. So we're almost in a position where we had to pay back a $5 billion community disaster loan given to us by way of FEMA. In fact, when we originally got our decision, it's a long, ongoing process. And when we originally got the decision back from FEMA, it was that we had to pay back $5 billion. I had meant to mention this in probably a meeting in September. It might have been August or might have been October, but it was in the late summer, early fall. And we had Maureen Laffeyberg, who goes by Mo, our CFO, did a fantastic job, along with Scott Pizarris and along with one of our outside consultants, Fallon and Larson, our auditors, Chuck Fallon. And Mo really brought something to light to FEMA. So we have the letter from FEMA actually saying it's been brought to their attention that miscellaneous operating expenditures should also be included in the CDL cancellation analysis, which is something they didn't originally do, and that's why we had to pay back the $5 million loan. Thanks to her hard work, FEMA realized this and then sent us a new form in order to fill out. So we had our auditor, Chuck Fallon, fill out the new form with some advice from Scott Pizarris, who was our former CFO that everybody probably remembers. He retired, and we brought him back on retainer. And I know there was questions about his bills and everything else, but part of his bills helped us get this $5 million loan forgiveness. So we finally got the word that because of all that hard work of those three people, we have our CDL, our community disaster loan, has been forgiven 100%, so $5 million forgiven. That was going to be on our taxpayers' backs. So the hard work that a former employee, a current employee, and an outside contractor did for this town saved us all from a $5 million, basically tax increase, or a tax increase over 5 years. Would have to be paid back $1 million a year. So thank you to each and every one of you for your hard work for our great town, and I'm happy to share that great news with everybody, every resident here in Brick Township, who's, has to pay less. So, moving on to the other issue. I received an anonymous letter mailed to my home filled with mean, hurtful statements regarding this township's administration, our policies, our leadership, and our employee morale. My immediate reaction was to put the letter in the trash where it belonged, because when a person or people hide behind the curtain of anonymity, whether it be in a written letter or social media, the motivation is not usually pure or genuine. In my tenure as mayor, I maintain office hours pretty much every day, so I know firsthand what decisions need to be made here and the factors that go into those decisions. I interact every day with employees and feel confident that they are respected, supported, and appreciated. I knew by reading that letter there was outrageous, made-up things in the letter because they didn't happen. Would I bring it up or comment on a council meeting? No. But I did know that the things were false. And I did know that as a public entity, I recognized the need to be transparent and treated this letter as something that required further attention. It was politically motivated, and with that, this letter would find a way into the public dialogue, and surprise, it did find its way into the public dialogue. At that point, at the last meeting, I should have commented on it. However, I did not. I didn't want to turn the reorganization meeting into some type of circus, because at that point, I only had personal knowledge that what was in that letter and what the allegations were and who we were supposed to talk to weren't people who were in the room or weren't things that happened all along the way. So at that point, it wasn't looked into at all, and that's part of the reason why I didn't comment on it at the time, because it was my personal knowledge. I knew it was false because I knew what was in there. I should have commented on that time, and I apologize for not commenting on that time. Since that last meeting, I've had the opportunity to do the investigation. I've personally spoken with union representatives and employees that were part of some of the discussions, decisions, and meetings referenced in the letter. Our township attorney and council president Zapsik participated in some of those discussions as well. Surprise, those discussions confirmed what I believed when I first received the letter, that its allegations are baseless and it should have gone immediately into the trash as I anticipated. Brick Township has its challenges, as all employers do, especially when it comes to the cost of living, the astronomical cost of health benefits. Right here in Brick Township, we have 4 collective bargaining units and 3 labor unions. We have more than 450 full-time employees. Our workforce is our #1 asset, and the one consistent thing that I've heard from our residents these past 5 years, how wonderful our employees are. They take pride in their work, they take pride in our community, they support each other, and they support this administration. And this is each and every department here in town. I thank each and every one of them for their hard work, their service, for their hard work and the service that they provide to our residents 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. And the fact that this political stunt was done to this person sitting to my left, Joanne Bergen, who has been such an asset to our town, that I stand up there numerous times and said the greatest decision I ever made as mayor was hiring her as my business administrator for my town and our town, and she's done such a fantastic job. And that's from a professional point of view, but even more than that, she is a person that cares about each and every employee, each and every resident. She personally reaches out to them, personally does special things on a daily basis, and that is a person that I want sitting next to me for my tenure, for wherever I do. Joanne Bergen, great BA, great person.
Mr. Starkey.
Yes, thank you, Council President. I would like to comment first as the township attorney, just because in the past few meetings there have been public attacks, public shots taken at employees of this town. They're done by letter, by people at the microphone, and by elected officials. And I want to remind everybody that there's a difference between the employees who work for this town and the elected officials that sit up here. You members of the council and the mayor, you've sort of put yourselves into harm's way. I commend you for it, but you ran for office and you opened yourself up by doing that to criticism. And you get it, and frankly, sometimes it's fair, sometimes it's not, but it is appropriate because that's what you signed up for. And critically, you can respond to that criticism. You're sitting up there and you have microphones. Employees of this township, and I include Mrs. Bergen in that, she's an employee of this township, can't respond publicly to criticism. They can't get up to that microphone and explain what they've done. But I can tell you, I've worked with many people here. They are diligent, they're hardworking. Are they perfect? No, none of us are perfect, and they make mistakes, but they do not deserve to have people up here and at that microphone take public shots at them for mistakes they made or for things they haven't even done that's unfair criticism. They don't deserve it, and they don't deserve it because they're employees. They work here. Now, I'll tell you on a personal level, I've worked in a number of different towns. I have never worked with employees better than the employees here in Brick. Across the board, diligent, hardworking, conscientious, in every single department, and that is rare. And I can also tell you that having worked here for many years, I have never seen morale that's been higher than it is right now, and I attribute that certainly to the mayor and to the council, but really in large part to Joanne Bergen. I mean, she is, honestly, she's a lot tougher than she looks, than I thought she'd be when I first met her. And she can be tough on people, but she is always fair, and she always has a smile. And she is an exceptionally good administrator, and I'm proud to be the township attorney where she's the administrator, and I think that you all should be proud to have her working here. I usually don't talk that much, but I wanted to say that tonight, and thank you for the time.
Thank you. Madam Clerk.
Yes, thank you. I wanted to congratulate Irene and Sean on their retirement. I have worked with them both for a long time, and I wish them both well. I also want to congratulate Jane and Mike on their appointments tonight. I've worked with them both for a long time also, and I look forward to working with them also. And I also have worked with Joanne for the 5 years that she's been here, and I find her to be a great leader. I just wanted to say that.
Thank you. Madam Secretary?
I second that. You said it perfectly.
Thank you. Councilman Fosman.
Yes, the anonymous letter discussed in land use. I find it odd that the council accepts that like it's, no one signed it, but yet you believed what that letter said, and you followed up on it. But anybody else that sends it in, it's worthless to you. You just don't care. You just don't care to investigate. You don't have to do it yourselves. Let's get an outside investigator to look into something. If someone made some allegations about something, it should be investigated, not internally. You go internally, people are going to clam up because they're afraid you're going to retaliate against them. I don't see what direction you're leading the town to do that with that letter. And we have a police anonymous hotline, anonymous online tip service we put in there. You guys don't believe in that? You said it. You put it in. You're the mayor. Mayor's quoted right here. He said it. People are reluctant to report matters of fear of retribution from others' concerns. That's why you need outside investigation. Every letter should be looked into that's like that. Other towns have did it. Other towns even say, with that, I welcome an independent investigation that this letter might intimidate, and my actions have always been transparent. They see this in other towns, but it's not here. Also, I'm going to give this to the clerk. Every council person should get a copy of it. This is Public Works meeting July 24th. Of what occurred. I corrected the minutes, but I don't know if everybody got it, and if they would like a copy, or I guess is that open to the public, Councilman? Minutes? Are minutes open to the public? Public Works Committee minutes from July 24th, 2018. Okay, I'll leave it with the clerk. Maybe you can review it, because the council can have it. I say that you get a copy from there, and you see what it is. I only have one copy. I'll give it to the clerk. Okay. I'd just like to thank the Cub Scout Pack 39 for their salute to the flag, Students of the Month, the Mustang Small Red Cheer Team, the Brick Dragons Large Red Cheer Team, the retirements of Irene Rafferty and Sean Knievi, and our new appointments, Jana Kopeka and Michael Kingsbury. Congratulations to them. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilwoman Pontorero.
Thank you. I'm going to be very brief tonight, but I wanted to indicate to Ms. Bergen that I take issue with some of your comments you made tonight, because you left out about 100 other things that you do for this town that you don't get credit for. if ever there was a person that I'd be happy to stand beside and go to war, it would be you. You are fierce, you are an excellent employer, you protect our taxpayers' money, you see that it's spent wisely, you give to this town where it's appropriate, and I am so glad to hear that the investigation proved that there was absolutely no merit to any allegations contained in that letter. I didn't doubt it for a second. Have a good night.
Thank you. Councilwoman Deal.
Yes, thank you. I'd like to congratulate Irene and Sean on their retirement, and thank you for all of your hard work and your service for all of these years. Buy and Brick update. We have Bricktown Veterinary Hospital with a 7.5% rebate on all services with a cap at $100 per visit. Mayor, you can take Dolly there and get Buy and Brick. I would just like to echo some of the sentiments that were said about Joanne tonight. Almost 5 years ago, the mayor did hire Ms. Bergen, and it was the best decision of his administration to hire her as business administrator. Since then, the mayor's administration, with Joanne as the leader, has transformed all of our services, our relationships with our residents, and dramatically improved employee morale. There's so many people in town that have dealings with Joanne, and she's just a wonderful person to deal with. But not only is that she's extraordinarily fair and cares about not only our employees but our residents and what we're doing with our money. She is proactive, knowledgeable, and diligent for all of township business. As she said before, she's been in a plow in the streets. She has some great stories about that if you ask her. She sells all the 50/50 tickets, all the DPW. She knows every department, every division, inside and out in this township. And above all, like I said, she is extremely fair in all negotiations, township business, cares and fights deeply for our residents. I know she has taught me a lot, and what she has done for this township has made Brick so much better for so many years to come. So I just want to thank you for your friendship, and thank you for doing what you do for our town. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Halloran.
Thank you, Council President. First, I'll start with Students of the Month. Congratulations. Congratulations to the Mustangs and Dragon cheer teams. And certainly, I am jealous of Irene's retirement plans, sailing around the Caribbean. I would love to be with her. And certainly, Sean Kennedy, congratulations, and I wish you a long retirement. Just enjoy yourself. If you're like me, you'll find you need something to do, and you wind up getting back involved in things. So good luck with that. Certainly, congratulations to Jane and Mike for their new positions. We wish them a lot of luck. I just want to say, I look around the room. I don't think there's anybody, or maybe too many people, that have had a professional career longer than I have. And I've worked with a lot of good people and a lot of not so good people in my professional career. People who had very senior management positions. And I've seen people abuse it. I've watched people abuse their employees. And I was never enthused with the way people act. People with personal agendas never were part of my my group. That being said, with my experience working with various managers, I've only known Joanne a short time. But I can tell you that she stands out among many of the greatest managers I've worked with and had worked for or had underneath me working as managers. She has the highest integrity. I always kid, and I think I've only told her this once, but I think she has a steel trap for a memory, because she remembers every detail of every minute and every conversation that and every subject that we discuss. I wish I had that. I don't. I find her to have the highest integrity and the greatest honesty and compassion to all people. I have only served for 3 years now. My experience with interacting with employees, I never hear anything negative. It's usually always very enthusiastic, positive. It's work, so not everybody is especially enthusiastic about work, but everybody believes and communicates that the environment here is a good one. And they have noted that that has not been always their experience in the past. So I cannot say enough about how Joanne runs the business administration, the whole administration, and the employees that serve our residents. It's unfortunate that we have such negativity today. It seems like it's the environment that we're living in right now. It's petty. It's part of a personal agenda. I do have one thing to say. We were not asked to vote on whether we had an investigation. We had been asked to stop the vote on the contract. We decided not to. It had nothing to do with voting on the contract, the investigation, and that's why we didn't stop the vote on the contract. It had nothing to do with the investigation. The investigation went through, and the mayor and the council president and our legal team investigated the problem or the complaint, and they found that there was no merit to it. So I just find the continuation and the persistence in trying to make something out of nothing, it's telling about people who do that. Thank you.
Thank you. Council Vice President Crate.
Yes, I have a few things. I want to start out with talking about the DPW. I received some information that let us know the total tonnage, in case anybody's wondering, of all residential recycling, single stream, leaves, brush, cardboard, etc., taken to the Northern Ocean County Recycling Center has increased by 11.53% in 2018. So if there's a comparison, 2017 there was $16,298 in revenue, and in 2018 that went up to $18,178. So that's a nice little kudos to DPW and all of our residents for getting out there and making sure that they're putting their recycling out. And also that the metal revenue is up $22,243 from 2017. So we had a total of $77,358 in 2017, and in 2018 it's gone up to $99,602. So that's really fantastic. So kudos to our DPW and also to all of our residents who are making the effort to drop their metal off and to actually recycle. So it's really making a difference. I also wanted to mention that the VFW held their Patriots Pen and Voice of Democracy evening last night at the VFW, and they honored students from St. Dominic's Veterans Memorial Middle School, Lake Riviera, Brick Township High School, and Brick Memorial. It was really incredible to see the veterans out and all of the students and their families, and a lot of teachers came out from the different buildings to celebrate some of the wonderful writing that the students from around our town did regarding Patriots Pen and Voice of Democracy. I believe the two essay topics were, for middle school, it was what does the flag mean to you? And for the Voice of Democracy essays for the high schools, I believe the topic was essentially about voting and the importance of voting for this generation, the new, Gen Z as they're called, Generation Z. So the essays were really phenomenal, and it was lovely to go out and see everyone, receive their awards, but also having students actually speak with the veterans and have conversations and, actually meet them and read their essays was really very nice. Library happenings, I've been remiss and I haven't told anybody any library happenings, so 2 things that I think people would be interested in. Thursday, January 24th from 6:30 to 7:30 is an evening of Scottish music with Charlie Zahm. It's reservations only, so you'll have to either go online or call the library to get in on that. And on Tuesday, January 29th from 7 to 8 p.m., the Toms River Multi-Generational Orchestra will be in the library here in Brick to share their love of music. And it features local musicians of all ages. There's also an open play dates, teen advisory board, chair yoga, and mahjong, and a host of other events that you can sign up for. You just need to register online at theoceancountylibrary.org or call 732-477-4513. And finally, I'm going to say a few words about Ms. Bergen. I just want to say we all received this letter, and anybody who knows me outside of council life knows that I have colorful language when I'm excited about things. And so I probably said a few things about this letter to my husband when I received it and how basically ridiculous I thought it was. And I want to say that I met with someone in Public Works today, and we had a conversation that had nothing to do with the letter, but he was commenting about how he's worked under a lot of administrations, and this has been the most pleasant work environment that he's had over the last 15 years that he can remember, and many of his colleagues and fellow employees feel the same way. You know, I was sitting at the rec basketball game last Friday night, and I laughed, and I actually ended up texting Ms. Bergen because I said, you know, I see your name on the back of these shirts. Is that you? And it turns out, you know, she loves this town so much that she sponsors a rec basketball team and a softball team every year. They did not spell her name right on the back of the shirts, unfortunately, which is why I texted and asked. But, I mean, who does that? Honestly. She loves this town. She loves this town. I had the honor and delight of going on, I'm going to call it the wrong thing, but we went on a police tactical driving course training together back in October. It was the most wonderful day of going out and seeing our police officers do their jobs and learn their jobs and get to be a part of it. And the fact that Ms. Bergen is so willing to go out and do that, and she does that with everything. It's not just that particular day. I know she's gone on ride-alongs. I know that she has worked every job here just so she can see what all of our employees go through on a daily basis so that she has a better idea and understanding of what their job entails so that she can further help them. And yes, not everybody gets along and not everybody has agreements all the time, but honestly, I look at her and I think that she's like the mom. You know, she's going to tell you what you need to hear. You may not always like it, but she's doing it in your best interest. And yes, moms make mistakes, but the best moms own up to them. And I would not want to work with anyone else in this town. And we are very lucky to have her. And the fact that she loves this town as much as she does, and I see it and I witness it every time we're together doing different things, is, you know, I think that's enough. I've seen her cry at events for the people of this town, retirements, when we go to different dinners for police officers and things. She is emotionally attached to this town and she wants the best for this town. And that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, I'm very glad that Councilman Halloran clarified the motion that was on the that was made at the last meeting. I would like to request an official correction of the record because he is 100% correct. That motion was to table the vote on the union contract and not an investigation about the letter. It does not seem patently fair to deny the contract for 230 employees who negotiated in good faith based on a document that someone didn't have the decency to put their name on. I also would like to request a correction of the record about the land use meeting. We did in fact receive an anonymous letter about a street vacation. We read the letter. and took no action on it because it was an anonymous letter, and the details in the letter and the reasoning for the person objecting to the street vacation could not be verified. So there was no action on that item taken based on the anonymous letter.
Would you like the minutes?
That being said, I would like to congratulate the cheerleaders and the students of the month, and Jane and Michael, and a special congratulations and heartfelt thanks to Sean Kanivi and Irene Rafferty. I've mentioned it a number of times. I had the privilege of being an employee here for almost 11 years, from 1998 to 2009. And during that time, I worked under 2 completely different administrations, 2 different cultures, because I worked as a co-worker side by side with so many of the employees that were in the room tonight, so many of the employees that are still here, I consider it an honor and a privilege that they talk to me sometimes as if I was still their co-worker and their equal, and they share things with me. And I can't even begin to tell you the number of times that I have heard, totally unsolicited, the morale in the town is wonderful. We love the mayor. We love Joanne. Yes, she's tough, but she's fair. And I have to say, as someone who manages employees for a living, you don't have to be liked, but if they can say that about you at the end of the day, if they can respect you, that is as good as it gets. When I left here in 2009, I went to work for another municipality where I had the opportunity to work under 3 different business administrators. And this is no aspersions to anybody. You take the 5 that I worked under, the 2 here and the 3 here, you throw them together in a bag, you shake them up. All I can say is that as a public employee, there is nothing worse than not feeling like the administration has your back. And I can say 100% unequivocally from everything that I have been told unsolicited by the employees in the town, that is not the case with this administration. It is not the case with Ms. Bergen. And therefore, I am going to state my personal opinion, and also on behalf of the council. Joanne, you have our unequivocal support. Our next meeting is Tuesday, February 19th at 7 p.m. in this room. Motion to adjourn?
Motion.
All in favor?
Aye.